Hi everybody. So here's an update on my kitchen remodel, and I would like to discuss a few things too and show you what I did so far, which so far I'm about 90% done. So I haven't recorded a video for a while on this because I just figured that I'm almost done and a lot of people are probably just don't really care. and I'm the only one that cares, so I care a lot more about actually interacting with everything. But anyway, so right now I'm about to texture the wall, the half wall that I built, and we're basically, then after that I'm going to paint it. I already painted it with Kiehl's white paint, just to get right into it and try to get it like kind of absorbed on a more like basic level, because there might be like a small leak. I'm not quite sure. There was actually a small leak, actually a big leak before I moved in here, before the landlord or the previous owner actually had to take care of it. And it was almost like a red flag for me, and I thought like, well, maybe I shouldn't buy this because it was leaking. They actually showed footage of it. I don't think I have the video anymore, but there was a video of them actually where it was a leak in a particular spot here. And then they fixed it up and there was nothing there. But having said that, I think that whatever method they did, it might be leaking like slightly. So sometimes I see water there. And so there's multiple things as to what was really happening. First of all, since there was already so basically the area, it's hard to explain with words, but the area there, it wasn't necessarily leaking. What was happening was it was an exposed to the ground, so you had bugs coming out and stuff like that. A little bit of bugs, but I would say, well, maybe the bugs were coming from there, but more than that, there would be some water spouting from the ground, the bottom of the ground. And so what I did upon this remodel was I actually took some concrete repair and actually put it over it so that it's basically patched up that little area. And I don't know whose idea it was not to leave it exposed to the ground, but it just was. So that's not, and so my speculation is that that was done, but it's possible that somehow water's still seeping through from the bottom side, just slightly, because I remember I saw something there, but it could have been something where I spilled water by mistake because I'm doing so many things. So I just decided to put the Kiehl's on there because you just never know. Because that the ultimate thing is mold. That's the ultimate thing that you're concerned about. But yeah, I'm not seeing any wet spots, so it's all good. But anyway, you could also get sealant too. There's if there's an issue, there's like some kind of sealant, some sort of water sealant, that you can use as paint, like almost like a paint. But anyways, I'm texturing it right now, and let me just show you what I got. So we have the quartz countertop, which looks very amazing. I love feeling it. And obviously we have the sink here, which actually works, and the faucet. But let's go ahead and take a look at the half wall. Look at this monster of a architectural or interior detail, I guess you could say. I love it. I mean, I flattened it out with joint compound, so it's not 100% flat, but it's like flat enough for me. I think it's fine. But the texture will definitely hide some imperfections, so I'm all good with that. And obviously there's some stuff below, but I don't really care too much. I might tape this part up down here, but generally it looks pretty good, I think. And I don't have a light to shine on here, but this side too, I had to put this corner bead here, and I might sand this down. I'm not sure. Probably will. But yeah, the corner bead looks pretty good, I think. And what they did for the quartz countertop people, they actually decided to put like an edge piece here. So basically this is not pre-manufactured. There's a part here that they had to put on and glue it together. So they did the extra work to do that, and you can see the seam there. So they just went ahead and glued it. And I don't know what exactly they used. I don't think it was silicone, but yeah. And then here's obviously the other part of the half wall. And so I'm going to texture it, and I'm going to give you full footage of that. And now I ended up leveling this part out too a little bit, the half wall over here, this part, and I think it looks pretty good. I'm also going to texture that, and probably texture the bottom part here too. But yeah, so far 90% done, and we can take a look to see I have another issue. So, well, it's not really an issue, but it's just something that's not very desirable, which I'm taking care of, and I don't see it as an issue, but some people may because they're not used to it. And I'll explain what that is. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the sink. So this is like a kind of like the modern style now. Everybody likes to have this pull down type of thing with this wire. See, this is from hours of looking into this shit. Like, this goes all the way back to 2019, when I remember it was one time I took a vacation with my father to Las Vegas. We stopped by and he's just like, "What are you watching?" And he doesn't realize, but I was looking into all these things, like what's going on, you know? I was like spending hours just like looking through everything and how to invest in real estate and stuff like that. So yeah, I remember we were at an Airbnb. It was a pretty nice Airbnb in Bakersfield. But yeah, this is pulling out, and I think it's pretty nice. So you can do that and then adjust it. One issue is that the weight is actually not that heavy. So let's say if you do that, right, it doesn't actually automatically kind of spring back because the weight isn't heavy enough. You have to intentionally do it, and then it kind of then it will go into place. I think it's because it's just because I think of a default weight that they decided because they didn't want to provide like a very expensive thing. So yeah, it looks pretty nice. There is actually no plumber's putty here because they've given you everything. Now, probably should have put it there just anyway, just to have precautions for general leaks. And I still have to hook up the dispenser underneath. But and then this is supposed to be for the air gap, but I still haven't hooked up the dishwasher. I'm actually still working on that right now. It's not a big deal. The thing that I'm doing, where is it? Shoot, I really need to know where those are. There's like 2 clips that I'm gonna mount to the side here and then screw to that side and that side into the cabinet parts. So obviously you saw me install those earlier. Hopefully you did. I don't know if I put footage on there. Where is it? Shit. There's like 2 clips for the that'll make it like stabilize. So let's see here. Trying to find the clips and I don't see them. Let's see. Oh, there we go. I found them. So these clips here. So on this side, we have kind of goes through into this slot, and to the side of it, you could basically it'll stick out like this, and then that little hole here, use it as a screw to the side here. It'll go in enough, so you can see that it shouldn't stick out because it goes like there, and then it'll barely just miss the cabinet. So you're like the drawer is probably pretty much going to go right against here, and the great thing about this is that you can pull it out. See, the trick is that you pull it out and you can actually turn it on before putting it back in, and it's basically because it's going to be right underneath the countertop, so you won't be able to do it while it's in, you know what I mean? So anyway, I think that's pretty cool. I actually haven't installed all the handles yet partially because I need these here right now because I need to spray texture here and then clean up whatever goes to the face frame, and then obviously I have to paint as well, so that's something I have to take care of pretty soon after. And I don't know if you saw that, but I finished the tiles. Now I still gotta do a little bit of work here, but honestly I'll live with whatever I see here. I don't even really care too much. I know that Mark said that he would have been OCD about trying to get it all right, but if you were that OCD about trying to get it right, you probably wouldn't come even this close to doing any of this stuff, you know what I mean? It's like that whole perfection mindset. It's like if you focus too much on the small, you don't get anything done. That goes for everything. But anyway, even working out too, or weight loss too, if you're focused on the small things or small improvements, you miss out on a lot of big improvements, potential big improvements. Anyway, so yeah, that's there. Now I still haven't put in the countertop over here because that's going to require a few more phone calls and some more savings. I'm being a lot more careful about my money now, because this was all a ton of money. So right now I owe $6,700 on my credit card. My credit score went down from 810 to 760. Now I shouldn't be giving all these numbers away, maybe because I don't want people looking me up, but I'm just putting it out there. I mean, maybe I'm not really very scared of information being leaked or whatever. I don't even know, because it's temporary anyway. But anyway, so yeah, that's the case. And then my loan amount, or the credit card on my Lowe's account, is now, I've been paying that off aggressively because it started off at $8,500, and the interest rate is 32%. So I have a 6-month free interest-free payment. So I actually got that down, because I'm also working, to $3,500 in like the last 2 months. So we're all good. But at the same time, the other credit card has been getting up also. So it's like, well, why am I not focused on paying that off? Well, I mean, it's kind of like a mini snowball effect for me, because if I see that the Lowe's gets taken care of, then I don't see it. Like, I'm basically like focused on realizing, oh, well, that's a real thing. You can't just ignore that. So, but at the same time, the credit card, so see, it's like a balance between them, because now, like, I also can't ignore that too. So now I'm going back to paying that off. So it's like this whole thing going back and forth, but at the same time, I make enough to where it's gonna get taken care of anyway, pretty much. So it's gonna probably take me 2 months to get, maybe a little less than that, to get the regular credit card paid off. But we're sitting at about $6,700 right now. So yeah, it's not like one of those things where I'm losing or anything. But I mean, that's part of the part of that is baked within like the living costs, so, because I was using that for everything. I was going out to eat for everything, and everybody was like, you should go get a grill, or you should barbecue or something. And I'm like, you don't get it. Like, if it's ironic, because if I were to do that, then I'd be spending money on the food, and all that stuff. So it's like, you think about it, right? Like, going out to eat, especially on the diet I have, is still more cost effective. Because I mean, it costs a lot to get all that like mushroom stuff and keto shit. It adds up, and unless I guess I start shopping at Walmart, in which case my shopping selection would be very small. But anyway, yeah. So I'm very confident. It's kind of fun. Okay, let's go back to the kitchen. Anyway, the Whirlpool actually works, but it's ironic. Actually, okay. I don't actually know if it works or not, but it's plugged in, so I'm assuming it works. But I don't really want to turn it on because it's not hooked up. So I'm sort of taking a chance, but I don't care. I'm just gonna eventually hook this up, but to the air gap, and get the old air gap probably. Doesn't take that long. It's just one thing though, another thing. But yeah, and then what's funny, I'm just gonna get this out of the way, but it's funny, the electrical part here still hasn't gotten done. I still haven't done it yet, but it's all good. I'll probably do it last. Nobody's dying to use this outlet, so we're all good with that. But yeah, everything's starting to look like it's kind of coming together. I mean, it's pretty much ready to be used almost. I could use plywood pieces, I guess, as temporary to actually use the kitchen. But I don't know. And then I also put this crown molding here. I think it looks pretty good. I just need to like kind of touch it up a bit, because there's like some staples or some brad nails that are kind of sticking out. What I ended up doing was, there was like this was trying to get those like things, those miter joints kind of glued together and stuff like that, was kind of a pain in the ass. And as you can see, if you're OCD enough, this is actually kind of hanging down a little bit, because it was just like so hard to get it together, because while you put this up, this was sticking out. So it's like, it's almost a little bit wonky, like a little bit skewed. And I actually had to put a piece over here for that reason. Well, for the other piece at least. There's a little shim there. So, Believe it or not, this actually took me about 3 hours because I just kept screwing up on the cuts. But I mean, I got the general cuts. I think your OCD might say it's completely wrong, but I think it's fine. Yeah, I mean, this is not my forever home, so I don't really care 100%. But you got to do a good enough job not to make it look like it's completely screwed up. But anyway, yeah, these trashes are here, and that segues into another discussion that I'm making. So it seems that a centerpiece within my brother's circle is that this place is a roach-infested shithole, where I guess if you want to call it that, I don't care what you have to say, but pretty much it's a completely skewed perception. The only thing that happens is that I'll admit, and I've been trying my best throughout the years, is that because the neighbors, their landlords are slumlords pretty much, they don't pay their dues, or even the HOA doesn't pay their dues to be able to treat the building appropriately. Like if you go to another community, it's just baked and part of the whole entire cost of being there. And it's just so obvious, like, oh yeah, we have pest control, like we have everything gets taken care of. It's just so obvious. So here, what you do is you might wake up and go to the bathroom and you might see one or two roaches, in which case I just kill it with soap and water. And it's not a big deal to me. It's just like two roaches or one roach, and I've gotten so used to just seeing it every once in a while. It's like ants or spiders or something. And in other places, it's worse. I mean, you go to Florida, some places you see tarantulas and scorpions and stuff like that. So it's not a big fucking deal, It's tenants, especially if they're paying cheap rent, they're gonna be fine. I mean, they're not gonna, especially because I'm just gonna warn them and say, hey, you might see a roach or two every once in a while, but you just have to use soap and water and to get them out of the way, just like you would, to get them out of your purview, just like you would perhaps for a spider or something. It's I would just say they don't treat this place like a luxury apartment or anything. So they it's just that's just the way it is in this area. So but even if that were the case, I'm still trying to be the best owner I can. So now I actually hired some pest control to come out and spray the unit, and they're gonna come periodically, so once every 2 weeks, and I'm gonna pay $60 every month. So initial fee of $150, but it's all good because it'll show proof that I'm doing the best job I can to make sure that this is the best livable place possible. So also it will influence, hopefully, the other landlords to actually take care of their units too, because they said that, if you really, really want to get rid of the problem, like for real, like if for the whole building, you would actually need to treat every unit. And it's like if you share walls, that's just how it is, so because they're just going to find their way. But yeah, it's a little unfortunate because I know a lot of people that are they can't tolerate seeing even one. And I know some people, like I remember when I was 8 years old, my father used to give like perception of like trailer trash areas as having all that stuff. But see, he didn't grow up in Florida. He didn't grow up in other areas, so there's a totally skewed perception. And it's kind of the same thing with a lot of other things too, and I won't go into that, but it's just like a skewed perception. So I know that I know that a lot of places don't have roaches, but I'm just saying that to just totally associate that with like trailer trash and all this like low income or low quality stuff like that is totally skewed, I think. But how do I say this? I've been living in California my whole life, so and so has a lot of other people. So maybe they also don't really see the realities of the things, because maybe Georgia's a little different, or the South might be a little different. But anyway, see, I'm already gonna charge cheap rent anyway, so I better find somebody who would be able to tolerate that. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's really it's kind of a weird thing. I mean, the law when it comes to all that stuff is more like, if you see an infestation, then yeah, I mean, then maybe, and if you don't abate that, then yeah, the tenant's probably just going to stop paying, because they're just like, it's not lawful. It's like a health hazard type of situation. But that's not the case at all. But anyway, yeah. So they came by, they treated it, and yeah, they're going to come by every 2 weeks and try to, like, they have good faith. The company has good faith, and they have good reviews. And it's mostly a roach thing where they talk about it. And so basically my plan is pretty much like, so I understand that my perception could also be skewed as well. So for example, if I end up just constantly getting tenants, because here's the thing is, like, I had someone over, like a guest over, and or two guests, I should say. First of all, it was my brother, and then a lady, and she went in there and was like, I see some roaches here, and she was like, kind of like, I don't fuck with roaches. So I was like, well, and then she started saying, I'm afraid to use your bathroom, that kind of thing. And it was like, well, what else can I do? I just kill them, if I see them. And it's not like she ever saw them here before that. So she came over several times. But see, so my perception might actually be skewed in that maybe everybody's going to have that reaction. But I think, see, my whole thing is I'm going to warn them. So I'm going to be like, I don't know if you've ever been in a place like that, but, I try my best. I try to work with this. You might see one every once in a while. If you haven't been able to stomach that, this is probably not a good place to be. But I'm going to give you the choice. So, but if you like the kitchen, hey, it's not a bad deal, that kind of thing. So it's like, or like, if you like the place, just feel comfortable, you like the air conditioning and all that, it's like, well, it's not a bad deal. But having said that, if I still get this bad reaction, because so far it seemed like it was a good reaction, actually. When they came in, they just didn't like the appliances and all this old stuff that they saw before, the 1969 stuff. Well, then I'm going to have a harsh reality check and say, you know what, fuck that. I have to sell this place, and just realize that, like, the realtor was doing me dirty and not actually being honest about, trying to work with me on what's going on and stuff like that. But but that I don't think that's the case, because these places, like this kind of thing, these type of units were built a long time ago, and they're still being used as rentals. Section 8, though, a lot of them are Section 8, I'll admit, but not all of them are Section 8. So, like, I think it's just a matter of the responsibility of the landlords. Like, this building is just, like, the lady in the front, she stopped paying her landlord because, I'm not going to say her name, but she stopped paying a landlord because of that reason. She's just like, I can't tolerate seeing roaches every day and stuff like that. I don't understand. And once they come by, or like, I would say that probably over in the course of a year, something's gonna give, and everybody's just gonna. I'm gonna actually. So we have HOA meetings, and I'm gonna be vocal next time it's there. I'm gonna say that we really need to. We just keep having this problem, and everybody's, kind of up in arms about it. And I'm the only one here that actually abates them myself and just deals with seeing it every once in a while, I guess. Whereas everybody else kind of just, like, they let it grow, and they let it infest their whole unit. So it is what it is. But yeah, I don't know, that might get a little messy, but see, my whole point is that it's not just like this thing where it's just a problem or some kind of thing that has no solution, and it just gets it's like a corrupt thing. It just that doesn't make any sense. So it's like it's one thing at a time. So for me, I could have taken care of this 4 years ago, and like 3 years ago, and started like saying, hey, trying to get the ball rolling for all this stuff 3 or 4 years ago. I just had my eyes on other things because I wanted to, because everything else was fucked up anyway. To me, the roach thing is 1% of everything else. Everything else was more important to me because it was just old and needed to be replaced. And like the stairs, I did all that. It took me fucking hours to do CAD and shit, and it was also $5,000 too. So it was just like, well, what do I do? I got to just progressively get there to build the interior here so that I can make it as best as possible, so I can, sell it the highest price or rent it to the best renter. So for the area. So I just did whatever I could, like that I saw was necessary. And obviously when we first moved in, man, nothing, everything was minimal. And you pretty much had to add everything. So like, let me show you an example. So I'll show you. So all the trim here, all the baseboards, I redid it. And I put this rail here. Pretty much everything that you see that's part of the finishing, I did it. Even the flooring for the steps, or the laminate for the steps. And then I put the door in here. I'm still painting the trim on this. And I think you saw in some other videos. And then I put the trim here too. This was not here. The door, the closet door, I did not do that. It wasn't there before. And I also redid this part here too. It used to be hanging. This thing used to be hanging. And just like disassembled, and then I put the door handles. So I did a lot more work, I was like, I gotta figure out what I need to do to this place, because it was just a complete shit show before. It was, like for example, the bathroom door was like coming apart, and you could barely close it. It's easy. You open it up and you close it. You're done. There's no issue with it being held, or like, it's totally locked into place. And then the same thing, like you go over here, right? This thing locks it. It's pretty nice, I think. I also put the baseboards here and stuff. I did so much. And the tiles. I did a lot to this place, and my whole thing was, that's the most important thing. People want that. I mean, if you see one roach, like, dude, go fuck yourself. That's what I want to say. Although, I can understand if, you can't stomach it, so you don't have to live here. But I would say there is a big portion of people that would overlook that little thing because there's no infestation, and just go ahead and, take the cheap rent and just pay every single month. But anyway, let's stop talking about that. Next thing is I'm going to obviously texture this, and I wanted to show you what I'm going to do about that. So I'm just going to basically put the phone somewhere, and then you'll see like what I'm doing. So I'm trying to see like what would be the best thing. Probably here, and then you're just going to see like me going back and forth. So I'm going to start now. Yeah, so right now I'm just preparing to get this done. I gotta clean this out first a little bit. Looking up all this. Find a cup or something. The measuring cup that I had. Oh, I know where it is. Yeah, that's why this is all weird. Okay. Start putting this. I gotta mix it with something else. Another bucket. Shit. Actually, I don't need a bucket. But it would be nice to. Well, yeah, it would be nice. 38 minutes, okay. show you this side that I'm doing. Go on this side now. It looks pretty good. I might do a second job, I'm not sure. And I'm willing to live with what, like some of these ridges that look kind of off. I might level it out, I don't know. But it's all good because the texture kind of hides it anyway. I'm not perfect at this either. So, you know, it is what it is. I'm gonna take about maybe probably the whole day to dry off, make sure it dries off. I'll clean off the other areas so it doesn't get on there permanently, like face spring here. Yeah. So anyway, that's pretty cool. That didn't take too long, although I would say that maybe there's probably, I'm sure there's I have to do like a clip-up job. Sorry, something happened here. This needs to be plugged out or something. Already starting to look like shit. Just because of one more thing in it. Anyway, so there is that. I'm just trying to wipe this off here so it doesn't get down there permanently. And then the same thing down here. There's like a little bit of that joint compound here, which I gotta get out. Well, I got on the floor too. Anyway. Yeah, I gotta wipe that off. Thanks for watching.